Hello everybody, this is Bob from Amazing Math, the channel that aims to make basic math more accessible and exciting. I hope you're all well and thank you very much for joining today's video. Today we're going to talk about fractions. I hear from and see a lot of people having a hard time with fractions, and in some countries there's even discussion to remove fractions from school programs. They're thought to be too difficult and not practical for daily life. Do I agree with that? No, of course not! I think we come across fractions a lot in daily life, whether it's for slices of pizza, pieces of cake, half a spoon of sugar, and that's not even to mention for calculation and measurements and preparation for a secondary and advanced school. And that is why I want to show you that fractions aren't difficult at all, they can be quite simple. Please check out my video series called Fractions Are Actually a Piece of a Cake. But before we start with today's video, it would be great if you could hit the red subscribe button at the bottom of the screen or just below the video. It's a great way to support the channel for free and without commitment. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. That also helps a lot. If you're already subscribed, it would be great if you could hit the bell button next to the subscribe button. It helps you to keep up to date with the latest posts. Now, with that out of the way, let's get started. In today's video we're going to have two different angles how you can look at fractions. Also I'm going to show you how you can transform and simplify fractions. No worries, it's not going to be difficult. Let's start by looking at fractions like a piece of pizza or a piece of cake. And here you have a beautifully squared pizza or cake, whatever you fancy. Let's assume it's a pizza. As you can see, it consists of 4 pieces. Now imagine that I have 2 pieces for myself. This is how we would write it in a fraction. At the bottom of the fraction we write 4. This is the number of pieces that one pizza consists of. On the top of the fraction we write 2, because this is the number of pieces that I have for myself. That is 2 over 4, I have 2 out of the 4 pieces. And now let's look at fractions like their divisions. Now let's look at this fraction as an example, 8 over 4. As in the previous example, we have a pizza that consists of 4 pieces. But imagine we this time don't have 1 or 2 pieces, but we have 8 pieces of pizza. As you can see, that means we have 2 complete pizzas. So looking at it like this, we can see that fractions can also be divisions, because if we divide 8 by 4, we get 2. Having 8 slices of a pizza that consists of 4 slices means we have 2 pizzas. So we can also look at fractions as divisions. Understanding what fractions represent can also help us to transform and simplify them. Let's have a look at the following example of a fraction of 1 over 2, or in other words a half. It's a pizza which consists of 2 pieces and we have 1 piece of it. If we compare that however to a pizza consisting of 4 pieces of which we have 2, in other words 2 over 4, we can see that the green areas of both pizzas is the same. How can that be? What does that mean? It means that 1 over 2 and 2 over 4 are the same, and they can be transformed into each other. Let's have a look how that goes. When we want to transform a fraction, all we have to do is to multiply the top and the bottom number with the same number, or divide the top and the bottom number by the same number. So in this example, 1 over 2, both the top and the bottom we multiply by 2 to get 2 over 4, because 1 times 2 on the top becomes 2 and 2 times 2 on the bottom becomes 4. On the other hand, if we want to transform 2 over 4 into 1 over 2, we divide the top number by 2 and we divide the bottom number by 2. So in this case the top would be 2 divided by 2 is 1 and the bottom would be 4 divided by 2 is 2. So remember, what you do to the top number, you also do to the bottom number, and vice versa. We only transform fractions by dividing and multiplying, not by adding and subtracting. I will show you why that is. Let's have a look at the example of a fraction of 1 over 2. In other words, a half, a pizza consisting of 2 pieces of which we have 1. Imagine we would add up 1 to the top and the bottom. We're doing the same to the top and the bottom. That would mean that would normally become 2 over 3, right? But when we look at a pizza of which 2/3, 2/3 is green, is ours, we see that it's bigger than the piece we have in a pizza of which we have one of the two pieces. So we can see that 2/3 is not the same as 1/2, meaning we cannot add or subtract numbers to transform fractions. So that's how we transform fractions. Now let's have a look how we can simplify them. Simplifying fractions actually means we want to keep the numbers in the fraction as low as possible. And the trick we use for that is the same as the trick we use for transforming fractions, as we showed before. So if we look at 6/12, we can see that the highest number we can divide the top and the bottom with is 6. So we divide the top by 6 and the bottom by 6. Meaning the top 6 divided by 6 and the bottom 12 divided by 6 leads to 1/2. If we do the same to 6/9, let's see what the biggest number is we can divide it with. Let's try dividing by 3. So the top 6 divided by 3 and the bottom 9 divided by 3. That leads to 2/3. To simplify fractions and to make the numbers in the fractions as low as possible, we will tend to divide the top and the bottom number by the same number. As you can see in the numbers I've used here, the top number is usually smaller than the bottom number. But what happens when the top number is actually larger than the bottom number? For this we're going to use the example 6/4. And we're going to approach it from the angle of looking at fractions as divisions. So we're going to divide 6 by 4. When we do that, what we will see is we'll get 1 and we have a remainder of 2. But this remainder of 2 still needs to be divided by 4. And if we do this, then we see that we will have 1 and 2/4. We know from the previous examples that 2/4 by dividing the top and the bottom by 2 will lead to 1/2. So 1 and 2/4 is the same as 1 and 1/2. So 1.5. In the end, 6/4 equals 1.5. I can imagine this is a bit much to take in one go, but please review the video a couple of times until you get the hang of it and understand it even better. Of course, reviewing and practicing is the best there is to master a subject. If you enjoyed the video, please don't hesitate to subscribe, like or leave a comment.
Don't forget to subscribe and like.
Next time we're going to calculate with fractions. Until then, I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you again at Amazing Maths.